lessons left in this unit, which means Friday we finish up all of our new material. So next week we have a culminating task, partner task, in-class only activity that will be graded, and we have some reviews. And then we have a test on Thursday. So the last two things are arc length and area of a sector. So let's talk about what arc length is. Well, when we talk about circumference, that's the distance around the whole circle. Arc length is just a portion of the circumference. So if I took a tape measure out and wrapped it around the circle and measured the distance, that is arc length. Now that's different than arc measure. Arc measure tells you how many degrees out of 360. Arc length is actually a measure of length. Centimeters, inches, feet, length. Okay? So, if we have an arc length, like we want to measure arc BC, well, all we have to do is figure out the portion of the circle that that represents. So we'll do the degrees, so the arc measure, or the central angle measure, because aren't those equivalent? Yeah. So we'll do the degrees over 360 times 2 pi r. The portion of the circle times the circumference of the circle. That's it. That's all there is to it. So, degrees over 360 tells us what part of the circle we're looking at, times the circumference, 2 pi r. And that is our formula for arc length. All right, so let's do one, and you guys are going to need a calculator for this one, but luckily you all have a graphing calculator. That way I can give the same directions to everyone. So we have 2 examples we're going to do today.
I think you got stolen again.
This is example 1. Alright, so the question asks us to find the arc length of arc PQ. So that's what we do. We do the arc measure or the central angle measure because they're one and the same. 62 over 360 times 2 pi r. Now, there are 2 forms I could ask for your answer in. I could ask for exact, or I could say in terms of pi. Don't those mean the same thing? Or I could ask for an approximate answer. So to get the exact, you're going to punch everything in except for pi. So you do 62 divide by 360 times 2 times 10. Enter. Ruh-roh. I got 3.4 repeating. Am I allowed to mix a decimal number with pi?
No.
I really shouldn't. So I need to turn this into a fraction. And this is the sequence of keystrokes you do that. Hit the math button. It's right below the green alpha button. And you see the first choice is fraction. So if you hit enter and then enter again, it converts 3.4 repeating into its fractional equivalent. Okay? So this does the same thing that the little calculators do. There's just not a button that's designated for it. It will convert from decimal to fraction and fraction to decimal. Also, which you wouldn't want to do for this section, if you hit the mode button and you arrow down to the second screen, you can tell it how you want your answers. Do you want them as decimals or fractions? Now, I don't use that. I just leave it on auto, and then I tell the calculator when I want a fraction, because I don't always want a fraction. So my answer is 31/9 pi, or 31 pi over 9. And what was my unit? Centimeters. Now, that is the exact answer. So I take that fraction, I put in the pi. So to find the decimal approximation, since I have that fraction in my calculator already, all I have to do is hit times pi. Pi is seconds up arrow. Second and back. Please do not use 3.14. Actually use the pi button. And you should get 10.82. Approximately 10 and 82 100ths of a centimeter. Centimeters, not of a centimeter. Sorry. Nope, it's not complicated at all. Yeah. Okay. Now, so in this case, I gave you the central angle and I asked you to find the arc measure, the arc length. In the second example, I'm giving you the arc length and I'm asking you to go back and find the measure of the arc, which is the same as the central angle. The measure of arc RS is equivalent to the measure of that central angle, isn't it? So, degrees over 360 times 2 pi r, which in this case they give me. That's a 3. It's a terrible 3. Is equal to the arc length, which they tell me is 38. So there's an equation. I only have one variable. Let's solve for it. So to solve for it, we got to get the 360 out of the denominator. So we'll multiply by 360. And then we need to divide by 2 pi 12.3. Divide by 2 pi 12.3. Your calculator does exactly what you tell it to. So because you want it to divide by all of that, you have to tell it to divide by all of that by inserting the parentheses around the denominator. Okay, let's punch this in and see if you can find the approximate central angle, which is equivalent to the measure of arc RS. Very good. Did you get 177 degrees approximately? Okay.
Is that gold? Is it gold?
There's all sorts of different colors.
Can I have that?
There's a solid white one now, and a gold one, and a silver one,
I want a white one.
and a blue one, and a pink one,
Where do you buy that?
and a black one.
Sam, you have a gold one?
I ordered my child's online from Target, and they were like $88.
Now they're like 100.
Now they're back up to 130.
Oh, what?
All right.
That's just
At the beginning of the year, every year, they put the graphing calculators on major discounts.
I need to get that next year then.
That's another good place. All right. So your homework is out of your textbook, which you're certainly may use your phones to go check that out. Oh, your problems are 10, 19 through 25, 29, 33, and 39, A through C. You have the rest of class to work, which is about 20 minutes. You shouldn't have any homework.
Is it still possible to get a book?
No, I already did it.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
No, it's a
I don't know.
speedster.
I took all the rest of my books back to the book room.
Heck no.
I could go back to the book room and get some more,
Okay.
but not now.
Can I go there? Honey, you're wasting valuable effort. I mean,